Welcome back everybody to another new comic book day Wednesday. It is June 11th. I'm sitting in here with my car waiting to go into my shop to go get my new comic books. We always do the new comic book day hauls, but we always do more stuff than that. So we also have last week's comic books reviewed. Everything that came out for June 4th, new comic book day, I review it very quickly for you guys. Stuff like Absolute Superman number 8, Absolute Green Lantern number 3, Spider-Man Incursion, Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion number 1, and then Ultimate Wolverine number 6, number 5, I can't remember. But we review those very quickly for you. Then after that, we talk about my Marvel/indie pull list. So all the Marvel titles, all the indie titles that are on my pull list and why, in addition to some things that I've dropped recently, some things that I've added. So we get into it, the nitty gritty into that. Then we talk about some comic book video game announcements, updates from Summer Games Fest this past weekend. So a lot of different comic book video games are in the works. Most of them from Marvel. Or, you know, if DC fans are crying like me, no video games for us, but Marvel Comics is getting a lot of games. So we talk about 2 of them, and then we also talk about the Invincible fighting game that was announced last weekend too. So stay tuned for that. We react to some of the trailers. Closing out the video, we do a comic book mail call. So a bunch of different publishers, sending me some graphic novels, sending me some little bits and doodads. So that's what we close the video out with, the comic book mail call. So that's what we got. New comic book day haul, last week's comic books reviewed. Then we have my Marvel/indie pull list, what's on my pull list and why. We have the comic book video game announcements from Summer Games Fest, and then close it out with the comic book mail call. So yeah, definitely stay tuned. Use the chapters down below to skip around, like if you like, follow if you love. Check out the newest episode of Color Break too. My co-host Comic Book Stash, Christian, episode number 50. We moved it to my YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel, but definitely check out the new episode. We talk about what is the movie of the summer. Is it Superman? Is it Fantastic Four? Which one's it gonna be? So I'll leave that podcast link somewhere around here. But yeah, definitely stay tuned for this new comic book day video, and yeah, stay tuned for the rest of the topics. All right, just got out of the shop, Casablanca Comics. They always got the hookups. Let's get into the comic book haul. Not the biggest week, but there is something significant about this week. There's 3 Batman titles, dude. You guys who say there's too many Batman titles, on weeks like this, you might be right, but it's all heat, dude. So let's get into it. Starting off, my pick of the week, it's gotta be this Robin and Batman Jason Todd series, Jeff Lemire, Dustin Nguyen, just beautiful stuff. Let me flip to just a random page there. So you're seeing some beautiful Dustin Nguyen artwork. I heard that the Jason Todd interpretation in this is pretty solid. And yeah, we'll have to see what Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen can bring to this Batman and Robin and Batman Jason Todd series, man. Second Batman title of the day, Absolute Batman issue number 9. Look at that. New story arc starts here, as you guys see, but we got Absolute Bane. Absolute Bane, the Absolute Menace. Look at them stacked up against Batman. Exciting stuff, dude. So Absolute Batman issue number 9. You guys counting them, right? That's 2 Batman titles so far. 2 Batman titles, but then we also have Batman Dark Patterns issue number 7. Start of a new story arc in this one as well. So this is arc number 3. Dan Waters, Hayden Sherman, they're just doing some really cool stuff with this early kind of look at a Batman title. It's Batman as he just started out, kind of like an earlier moment in his crime fighting career. Pareidolia is the new story arc name, so I don't know what the villain is for this one. I'm not sure if it's like the Wounded Man in the first arc where they kind of invented a villain. The second arc had Scarface and the Ventriloquist, so we'll have to see what this new third arc has. But yeah, that's what we got, man. For the Batman titles of the day, we got 3 of them, dude. Three Batman titles. Great stuff. We also have, out of Skybound Image, we got Transformers number 21. Issue number 20 was really solid stuff. Megatron just kicking butt. Looks like it's building up to a really big battle conclusion. So we got Transformers number 21. Beautiful cover on this one, of course. Danny Warren Johnson, Jorge Corona, Mike Spicer. As always, we also got, dude, shout out to Kai Bucks. If you're out there, dude, Kai Bucks, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 9. Kai convinced me, dude. Check out the top 10 videos that I do every single month with Kai Bucks. He's always giving TMNT its flowers. It's time I added it to my pull list. So I caught up with this very recently on Hoopla through my library digitally, but it's about time to jump on the TMNT train. I got to back up and get like 8, 7, and 6, I think, in singles, and I'll have the entire series collected in singles, and we can just ride it on out, man. So that's cool. We also have, shout out to Kai Bucks again, dude, we got Geiger number 15. So I was really pissed off. My library, it was another series that I was trying to read through my library. They were really behind on, putting things up onto the library. So I wanted it in single issues, man. I said enough is enough. Geiger number 15, I'm hopping on. It's another series that Kai really enjoys. I really enjoy it too. Geiger's probably my favorite Ghost Machine imprint. It's time to put my money where my mouth is and start getting it in single issues. Because I wasn't getting anything Ghost Machine or the Unnamed Universe because it's free with Hoopla sometimes, and it's also on Global Comics from time to time as well. So I didn't feel like I needed it in single issues, maybe collected it in trades. But Geiger, that's a series I got to get in single issues, man. So getting back onto that, same thing, I got to back up and get like maybe 3 or 4 issues of Geiger in single issues. Continuing with the DC train, we got Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma, issue number 3. Really excellent stuff, man. Me and Kai also loved issue number 2, and I was lucky enough to have a chance to read this early a couple months ago with Rom V sending me an early look, dude. So Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma number 3, continuing this awesome series. Really love the artwork from Anon RK. Mike Spicer just killing it. Mike Spice is attached to like every good looking, good colored comic book. Mike Spice is usually to blame, dude. We also have Far Down Below, Chris Condon, GG Shaw, Far Down Below, issue number 3. So really liking this Goonies sort of story. Really just fun, kind of good-hearted mystery with the grandpa that was gone. They found him. 2 friends kind of having an adventure down in the deeps underneath like their city. So yeah, Far Down Below. Pretty fun stuff, man. Like I said, it's pretty much like the Goonies, so that's fun. We also have Aquaman number 6. Excellent stuff from Jeremy Adams. Even though this is the last I'll pull of this title, I really enjoyed it up to this point. Just not something that I need in singles. I'm going to catch up and read it in DC Universe Infinite going forward, but that's what we got, dude. New comic book day. We got 3 Batman titles. We got some cool stuff like Aquaman. Jumping back on the train with Geiger, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Shout out Kai Bucks. And yeah, dude, it really is that the 3 Batman titles kind of leading the charge this week. So that's what we got. New comic book day. Stay tuned for the rest of the topics though, man. It's another week and I got another big stack of books to review. This is your weekly comic book review. This is everything that came out for the first week of June 4th. Everything that I read that I wanted to review. We're going to go through it from what I recommend the most to maybe what I recommend the least. All right, so let's get into it. What I recommend the most, June 4th, new comic book day. It's got to be Absolute Superman, guys. This is issue number 8. This starts the new story arc. So if you guys are wanting to jump on to an Absolute title or just Absolute Superman in general, this is the perfect place to do it. So what we know so far, right? So Superman Kal-El has been traveling the globe. He was kind of kicked out of Smallville. They were trying to capture him and he kind of left, just kind of being like a wandering man, helping people whenever he can. Lois Lane is part of the Lazarus Corporation, who are technically the bad guys. So Lois Lane is working for the bad guys. But she is starting to maybe switch sides. She's really curious about what this, who this person is, this Kal-El Superman person is. So she's trying to track him down and find out more information about him. And has tracked him down to Smallville, found out that he used to live in Smallville and all that stuff. In this issue, we also get introduced to this kind of version of Jimmy Olsen. So he's on kind of the rebel alliance fighter. Thinks that Kal-El can maybe help them in their rebellion efforts against the Lazarus Corporation. So really interesting stuff. We got a new look at the upgraded Peacemaker. We get a little bit of Ra's al Ghul too at the very beginning here, very savage. So yeah, really liking where the story's going so far. Great stuff, man. Absolute Superman, Jason Aaron's just killing it. Of course, we also got where's the art team? Down here too, we got Sandoval coming back on. So just an excellent look for Superman, dude. I'm loving this one. Next up, we got Ultimate Wolverine issue number 6. I'm loving where this one's going, man. So we have Chris Condon writing, and this one we have Linz and Valenza. So different kind of art than the Cappuccio stuff that we're used to. But in this, we got Logan, Winter Soldier in this universe. He's kind of in his own like mind prison, I guess, and someone's helping him out. So the entire thing is like this trippy. He's getting helped out by this guy who we learn is this universe's version of Legion, but he has changed his name to the One, which you find out later. Pretty cool, like sci-fi kind of twist for this Legion character, but he's just helping him break out and helping him realize that, hey, you are under the control. You are not who you have always been. So maybe it's time for you to break out. So at the very end of this, man, it looks like we finally get a Logan who might be free of the mental hold that he's been put on. So maybe starting now, we'll get Ultimate Wolverine on the good side, right? So very interesting stuff. You guys might want to jump on if you're interested in checking out the Ultimate Universe as well. We also have Absolute Green Lantern. This one's issue number 3. So this is the Ultimate title that I'm least sure about so far. I think Al Ewing is just, he's kind of like filling out the story around it before he can kind of take off and start going. So we're just learning more about kind of the situation that all these different people in this town find themselves in. They're kind of stuck in like a dome. We get this confrontation between Joe and this Hal Jordan. It seems like this Hal Jordan's gonna be a bad guy. He's got like this dark gun. He's talking about how the darkness wants to eat on the light and stuff like that. Really weird stuff. But then we get Joe, who seems to be in the most control of her powers. So pretty cool stuff there. Right here, you see this little barrier. So nothing can get through except for gold. Jon Stewart trying to figure out what's going on with that. But interesting stuff so far. It's kind of hard to see where this series is going just yet with only 3 issues in. It's still good and I still recommend it, but it's not my favorite Absolute title by any means at this point. We'll have to see where that one goes. Al Ewing is just taking a little bit to get cooking. Great artwork in this though, I will say, especially like some of the magic uses of rings, the ring power and stuff like that. Next up, let's talk about Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion. So this is kind of like the summer event for the Ultimate Universe. We get Miles Morales, who was in the original Ultimate Universe. He jumped to the main 616 comic universe, but then he's jumping back into the Ultimate Universe, some multiverse shenanigans or whatever. So this Miles Morales, he kind of teams up with the Ultimate version of Peter Parker and his son. So we get a little triple Spider-Man team up sort of issue. So I thought this one was really fun. I am not the biggest fan of the multiverse Spider-Man stuff, so that kind of turned me off a little bit. But it's just fun to seeing, you know, these versions of the Ultimate Spider-Man and his son swinging around New York with Miles Morales. I mean, that's just, how can you not have fun, right? Who's he teaming up with next? Oh yeah, the Ultimate. So that'll be interesting, man. Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion. Plague House from Oni Press. Plague House issue number 3. This series is great so far, man. Really taking a sort of twist that I'm not going to spoil for you guys here, but the initial setup was that this group of people, they were going into these houses and trying to figure out why they were haunted, right? And they had like a TV show that they were doing. But some twists and turns have happened in this series, and this is not kind of a series that it turned out it was going to be, man. Some great artwork from Dave Chisholm, an artist I'm a huge fan of. I think he's just killing it. So if you're into like a sort of like slasher, haunted house, sort of spirity sort of story, you see this guy getting his ass kind of kicked by like a ghost dude. Really interesting stuff here, man. I don't want to show you guys too much because that twist is pretty cool in issue number 2, and it continues right through issue number 3. This is a series to definitely check out, especially when it comes out on trade. Definitely one to trade with. Great stuff from Oni Press. They've been on a roll. Next up, let's talk about JSA. We got 3 more issues here, including JSA. So JSA issue number 8. This was like a throwback issue, so we still get Jeff Lemire writing, but we get a different artist on this one. And it's kind of like a throwback issue all the way back to World War II, when the JSA is fighting, the bad guys. They got the spear, and it's kind of like a, open this portal, bring a bunch of evil demonic beings to destroy the world, whatever. It turns out that this can only happen every 80 years. So since this mission, the JSA stopped them from opening the portal. That's why in the current modern day story, they're also trying to open the portal because it's 80 years after the fact. So that's kind of what's going on with the JSA versus the Injustice Society. Injustice Society is trying to bring a portal to get all these like Cthulhu beasts and destroy the world. It's kind of the story going on so far, but kind of a look back issue, throwback. JSA in World War II beating up some Nazis, pretty cool stuff. We get Wildcat, who obviously has passed away in the current modern story, but I'm loving this series so far. 2 more issues left. Let's talk about Birds of Prey, issue number 22. So really enjoying this series. You guys know I'm not going to be dropping it, dude. Tons of fun. Might be the most fun like team up book on stands right now. So we got all the different birds. They're investigating the fact that Big Barda has been taken off the table. Someone has kind of kidnapped Big Barda. So the team is sort of split, trying to look into that. We get Cassandra Cain, Sin, and Black Canary are going, and they think they have a lead on where Big Barda is. Turns out Big Barda she's under mind control, I guess. So she's not, the Big Barda that's friendly with all these people. She's fighting back, but we get some little cracks in it. She's like, Canary, what? So sad stuff what's going on with Big Barda. So the team's going to have to come together. But the artist for this arc is really solid stuff. from Basri. Not this. This is Superman. That's right here. Really, really solid stuff. So I'm loving this, dude. The Birds of Prey. They're kind of, maybe they bit off more than they can chew, but they're gonna have to work together. Kelly Thompson, so consistently fun, man. Last up, let's talk about Batgirl issue number 8. Not the biggest fan of the Shiva arc, man. I know some people, it's like okay for them. For me, it's just kind of a miss, dude. But I'm really liking this art from Goodheart and Mike Spicer, obviously. It's just another look at Shiva year one. After she had run away, she's traveling the world with these two dudes, Tiger and Dragon, traveling the world with their sister, trying to beat on people, save people, and then we find out what happened to the sister. So in that sense, it's really tragic, and it maybe sends Shiva on her own path to where we know her today, being like the world's greatest killer and all that stuff. Whereas before, it looked like things were going pretty well with her sister. But so yeah, Batgirl issue number 8, not bad by any means. Just not something that I maybe recommend. If you were looking at the first arc, that first arc was really good. But the second arc is kind of taking it down a little bit. But yeah, that's what we got. New comic book day. Comic book reviews for June 4th. Next up, let's get into my Marvel and Indie pull list. That's coming up next. Alrighty, so I got a lot of things on my pull list. This is from Marvel and the Indies. If you guys are looking for the video where I talk about everything in my DC pull list, I did that last week, so definitely go check that out. But this is everything Marvel and the Indies that are on my pull list. These are things that are on my pull list currently, but we'll also get into things that I've since dropped and things that I've added too. So yeah, let's get into it, man. So the first thing on my Marvel pull list, guys, we're starting off with all of the Ultimates titles, right? So you got Ultimate Spider-Man, number 17, that was pretty good. The Ultimates, and then we have Ultimate Wolverine. So these are the current 3 Ultimates titles that are on my pull list, besides Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, that came out last week. That's also going to be added to my pulls. But yeah, dude, Ultimate Spider-Man has been really great so far. If you guys have been reading it, you already know. But Jonathan Hickman is just cooking with this one. Sometimes we have art from, oh my god, we have Kaketo on art. So excellent stuff when that's the case. Sometimes we get a guest artist in Messina. Still good so far. The Ultimates, though. The Ultimates has been really, really solid from Dennis Camp and for Jerry. Dennis Camp is just one of the best writers in the game right now, and for Jerry is a really great collaborator, artistic collaborator with Dennis Camp. I did an entire video on Dennis Camp and some of my favorite series from Dennis Camp and why I think he's the best comic book writer. I'll leave that linked here or something like that. But so if you want more of an explanation on why the Ultimates is a series to pull, definitely check that out. But what I would say is Dennis Camp is doing new stuff all the time in the Ultimates. You never know what you're going to be reading, kind of what comic book norms he's going to break in the next issue. It should be really fun, man. So great Ultimate stuff. And then we have Ultimate Wolverine from Chris Condon. This series is interesting so far. Not every single one has been like an ultra super smash hit, out of the park or whatever. But I think that kind of the story that he's got going on so far with, his body has been controlled, his mind has been controlled. He's, bodily autonomy and stuff like that, right? I think it's pretty interesting. It seems like he has since broken out of the hold due to the help that he got from some of the freedom fighters or whatever in this universe. So we'll have to see if Ultimate Wolverine is going to take like another turn in this series, if he's going to be a good guy and start going down that route with issue number 6 coming up soon. But the Ultimates titles have been really solid so far. I'm not currently pulling Ultimate Black Panther. That's one that I've since dropped. And I've also dropped Ultimate X-Men from Peach Momoko. Not bad by any means, both of those series. Just not my favorite, I guess, right? Like nothing I need to pull in single issues. Maybe go back and trade weight for Ultimate X-Men. For Ultimate Black Panther, I don't know, dude. That series was kind of a mess, I'm not gonna lie. Just the pacing was just so off. Like you get 14 issues and like it feels like barely anything's happened. But yeah, that's the Ultimate titles as of right now. I'm pulling 3 of them, 4 if you include that Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion stuff. Next up, let's talk about Daredevil Cold Day in Hell. So obviously this is a mini series, 2 out of 3, but I wanted to mention it here because Charles Soule and Steve McNiven just killing it, dude. Such a fun series, really loving it. Issue number 2 was out. We're waiting on issue number 3, and then the series will conclude. So if you guys are waiting to trade weight it, that would be pretty smart. But yeah, just some really excellent stuff. I'm really glad I added it to my pull because this issue number 2 was one of the best things I read it was last month, right, for the month of May. So that's it for the Marvel pulls, guys. I don't read a ton of Marvel at all, so if this was just a Marvel video, it'd be very short, but that's why I wanted to add on to the image stuff, or the indie stuff as well. But in terms of Marvel series that I've added to my pull list, so this is stuff that hasn't come out yet, but I've let my shop know that I want it when it comes out, right? So the Captain America series with writer Chip Zdarsky, I'm adding that to my pull for the first 3 issues. We're going to check it out, see what's going on with that. But pretty interesting to see Chip Zdarsky jumping on the Captain America title. The Fantastic Four title, I'm jumping on that once it restarts with volume number 1. That's a series, you know, Ryan North's Fantastic Four. I've been collecting it in trades. I think I have trade number 4 over there. 3 or 4. I can't remember. But I'm just going to add the new volume to my pull. That way I don't have to miss out. I don't wait on trades. Wait for Marvel Unlimited to add stuff. I want in on the hype. Ryan North just killing it with Fantastic Four, so I want in. And then we also added Ultimate Hawkeye. So in the Ultimate Universe, it seems like Hawkeye is getting his own spin-off series. I don't know if it's going to be an ongoing. I don't know if it's just a mini. But Hawkeye was a really standout character in this Ultimates title whenever he pops up. So Ultimate Hawkeye, dude, that should be cool. Now let's get into the indie series. The indie series that I have on my pull list. Speaking of Dennis Camp, dude, Assorted Christ Events, my favorite anthology series on stands. I think it's just so sick. All the different timey-wimey sci-fi-ness of it really reminds me of something like Twilight Zone or something like that, right? But with Dennis Camp, Eric Zawadzki, Belair, Osman Alehu, it's just a really strong creative team. Favorite anthology on stands. Gotta add to the pull. Next up, we got the Power Fantasy, Kieran Gillen and Casper Wingard. Might be my favorite image book on stands, dude, because there's just so much going on with this. You have all these different superpowered heroes, and they each have the power to destroy the world, like individually, right? But they have to try really hard not to. So you got this like really tense kind of like pressure building up throughout this series. 9 issues in, and it seems like the world could end at any moment, dude. So crazy revelations. You have superpowered kids that were never known to the public. That's gonna change things up, shake things up, and just really interesting kind of power sets, really interesting kind of characters, a lot of history going on between them all. Just really interesting stuff, man. Really interesting character study here with Power Fantasy. Cool world building too if you're into like alternate history. Power Fantasy, really good stuff, man. Especially the artwork from Casper Wingard, just beautiful, dude. Transformers with issue number 20. This is a series that I'm really enjoying. We got Daniel Warren Johnson writing with Jorge Corona, Mike Spicer, of course. Really great stuff so far. I think that Daniel Warren Johnson is hopping off the title after 24, and I think that's where I might hop off as well. I just said I was liking this series, but I'm not like the biggest Transformers guy, right? Like as I'm reading this, I'm liking what's going on. I like the characters, right? But I'm not like all about the Transformers, right? I'm reading it because Daniel Warren Johnson, of course, has got that the heart. Jorge Corona's got that insane, awesome artwork. If you guys are into Transformers, I bet you're loving this stuff, dude. Pretty cool stuff, pretty epic. I'm not a Transformers guy. Exquisite Corpses #1 from Tiny Onion, James Tynion IV, Michael Walsh, Bel Air, Carrie as well on the lettering. Exquisite Corpses is one of the best issue #1s of the year so far. It's got to be the best issue #1. Really just love the kind of setup. It's a battle royale between all these different rich people. They have sponsored like a serial killer, and all the serial killers are doing like a battle royale. Whoever wins gets to own and rule the country for 5 years or whatever it is. Really interesting kind of setup. The fact that it takes place in Maine too. I can look outside my window and maybe it's happening in the next town over. Pretty funny. Exquisite Corpses, just a great kind of slasher horror series that they've got set up so far. Another one if you like alternate history, definitely check that out. Bug Wars, Jason Aaron, Mohamed Aswar, and Matthew Wilson. Becca Carey again, of course. This is great stuff, man. So picture Ant Bully, like where that kid gets shrunken down, but then he gets shrunken down into the world of Game of Thrones, but they're bugs, right? So you have all these different clans all over the backyard. There's the spider witches, there's the mites, and then the ants, and then the beetle riders, and really cool stuff, man. So this kid is kind of just lost in his own backyard, but all the different bugs, there's kind of like societies all around, and just the world building alone in this series is really impressive stuff from Jason Aaron and Mohamed Azrar. Really fun stuff, man. So Bug Wars, definitely a series that's climbing my favorites out of Image Comics. Just ton of fun, man. Ton of fun with this one. So Bug Wars. Next up, we got We're Taking Everyone Down With Us. This is a great spy series from Matthew Rosenberg. Landini on the art with Wordy and Otsman Alehu. So if you're into like spy kind of thrillers, the kind of vibe I would describe for this one, you guys know that show Archer, that like spy show out of Comedy Central or whatever. I forgot what it was on. Adult Swim? I forget. We're Taking Everyone Down With Us is that kind of vibe. So it's that funny, kind of humorous spy kind of world. But in this, we get a protagonist named Annalise. She's a little girl who's really smart, really capable. And then we get the robot who has the brain of her dad downloaded in the robot brain. So yeah, just interesting stuff. We get different opposing spy organizations, and Annalise and the robot are kind of caught up in the middle of it. I'm loving it, dude. We're Taking Everyone Down With Us. Funny as hell, dude, with that Matthew Rosenberg writing. You'll Do Bad Things is next up. This is a great slasher series from Tyler Boss and Turtleichi. Yeah, just so whenever this writer, he writes like horror, crime stuff. Whenever he puts pen to paper, that horror story ends up happening, coming true. So the writer has to deal with all that, man. I mean, people just keep dying every time he writes a dang story. So interesting stuff. But each issue so far has a really great like slasher sort of horror chase scene, rendered beautifully from Turtleichi. Really impressive stuff. I'm liking this one, dude. It's gonna be a favorite of mine when it's all said and done. Plague House out of Oni Press. Michael W. Conrad with Dave Chisholm on the art. Excellent stuff, man. I'm really loving this one. Initially kind of started off as these three people going into different haunted houses, trying to clear it out, figure out what's going on, and they have a TV show while they're doing it, right? But there's a twist that happens in this issue number 2 that flips the entire series on its head, man. So really loving the direction of that twist. Excellent artwork from Dave Chisholm. One of the best artists in the game, especially in a horror series. Really cool seeing Dave Chisholm jumping on this horror series, man. So I'm loving this one out of Oni Press. Definitely trade weight this one, guys. I'm dead serious, man. That's some cool stuff. Same, Oni Press with another one. We got Out of Alcatraz, issue number 3. Tyler Crook on the art and Christopher Cantwell. So these three people on the cover, two of them, not this girl. These two people escaped from Alcatraz. It's a true story that happened, but this is kind of like a retelling of what happened after they had escaped. So what if they didn't, die and die when they were trying to escape, and they went off and had like a little bit of adventure, right? So the adventure's not good though. Let me make that clear. They're working with this girl to try to, obviously they're on the run from the cops, but the people that they're trying to work for are saying, hey, we'll give you guys new identities, we'll clear your name, get you set up in Canada, whatever. You just have to kill some people for me. So really interesting kind of crime series going on here with Out of Alcatraz. I'm loving it. Issue number 1, I didn't know what to expect from the series, but issue number 2, issue number 3 definitely hit those high points, man. So that's what we got. All of the different indie series that I have on my pull list, right? But I'll let you guys know some stuff that I've since dropped and added, right? So news from the Fallout, new series from writer Chris Condon and artist Jeffrey Allen Love. That's going to be pretty cool. Added that to my pull. The Voice Said Kill. This is one from Cy Spurrier with artwork from Vanessa Del Rey, I think. Just based on that, I'm definitely picking that one up. The Voice Said Kill. That sounds pretty cool. Escape is another series from Rick Remender. I'm not sure who the artist is on that. I forgot. I think it's the artist that was on that Captain America Avengers series written by Chip Zdarsky. It took place like in the future. You know what I'm talking about? If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So I think that's the artist on this Rick Remender Escape series. We also have Invisible Man, and then I've added Geiger to my pulls, guys. I added Geiger to my pulls. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. I also added that sequel series to my pulls. And then TMNT. I added TMNT to my pulls. So that's everything that I've added. Looking at stuff that I've dropped. Yeah, that's about it. So yeah, that's what we got. That's my Marvel pull list and my indie pull list. Yeah. Different kind of setting for today's sort of video. The sound got corrupted, whatever. But we're talking about comic book video games, either updates or just reveals that happened this past weekend at the Summer Games Fest. Sort of like E3, it's like the new thing that they're doing, Jeff Keighley. So he did Summer Games Fest. There was an Xbox showcase, PlayStation showcase, a ton of cool stuff announced. But today we're talking about 3 different comic book video game, either updates or reveals like I was saying. And the first one is called Marvel Cosmic Chaos. They announced some new characters that are going to be playable. So hit and play right now. I figured we'd just run the trailers and I react to them as we go. So from Marvel Games, obviously publishing the Marvel Cosmic Chaos game. The 2 characters that they announced as playable, we got She-Hulk and we got Rocket Raccoon. So interesting stuff, man. This is a beat 'em up sort of game. Huge fan of beat 'em up games. Like you got the classic Simpsons game, you have the Scott Pilgrim game, of course, Streets of Rage, stuff like that. So I'm a pretty big beat 'em up fan. There was that Ninja Turtle one that was released, announced recently, right? Or not announced, it was released. That one is pretty sick, and I think this is the same developers of that one. So ton of cool Marvel characters. You see Venom there. So Rocket Raccoon, She-Hulk running together with Wolverine. All the different locations that they've shown off. Marvel Cosmic Chaos, man, beat 'em up. Huge fan of those, so should be pretty cool. We have a lot of different characters that were announced on that one too. A lot of different deep cuts like Nova, so interesting to see where that goes. The next one up is called Marvel, what is it, Tokon, like Fighting Soul, something like that. This one was announced at the PlayStation showcase actually, so it's Arc System Works, who if you know them, if you're fans of fighting games, you probably know Arc System Works. They do like Guilty Gear games, I think, right? Let me know in the comments if I'm incorrect on that. But yeah, so we got a new Marvel fighting game. When they showed this off, people thought it would be a Marvel vs. Capcom thing, but as it went on, turns out it's just Marvel characters, kind of with like an anime sort of, an anime like manga sort of slant to everything, right? So with this like Iron Man character, he kind of looks like Voltron, you know? We have Spider-Man, we have Kamala Khan, Captain America, as you guys saw. And yeah, it's like a 4v4 fighting game, tag team fighting game. So you see Star-Lord there, so that kind of shows us that they're doing sort of deep cuts in this one too. We got Ghost Rider coming in, beating the crap out of Star-Lord there. So yeah, man, we'll just have to see how this one goes. I'm not like the biggest fighting game fan in the world. In the past, I've really enjoyed like the Injustice games because of the DC characters. You know, I played Marvel vs. Capcom back in the day. I never owned it, but I played it, you know, at daycares and stuff like that. Trying to think, maybe like Tekken was like the only sort of fighting game that I got really into. As we see Doctor Doom, we got Storm coming in as well. Yeah, I really like the look of this one. And, you know, with the pedigree based on the developer, you know this one's probably going to be pretty good. Yeah, 4v4 tag team battles. We see all the characters I already mentioned on screen here. Everyone just fighting, all the different varied locations. A ton of different cool combos you can do with it being 4v4. And yeah, it really seems like PlayStation is putting a big emphasis on fighting games in general, right? They bought EVO, the fighting game tournament. They released like its own fighting stick, like a PlayStation first party fighting stick that you can buy, made by PlayStation. And yeah, it really seems like they're going all in on fighting games. So Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls coming in 2026. And the last game that I wanted to mention here in this video, we've got an Invincible fighting game. It's called Invincible Versus. We see 3 different characters, all the Vulturemites or whatever, and then we got Rexplode, Adam Eve, Invincible, of course. So this kind of shows us that they're gonna, you know, include a ton of different characters from the Invincible universe. Hope to get like Battle Beast somewhere in there, that'd be cool. And yeah, this one is interesting because in the past for Invincible games, they've done like, I don't know, mobile games, right? Like weird tactics-based games, stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see this studio that was built specifically to make this Invincible fighting game. It'd be interesting to see, you know, how they handle it. But yeah, a ton of different cool characters, a lot of different varied landscapes in the background. Yeah, this one, I don't know, fighting game is a weird choice for the Invincible property, right? 3v3 tag team fighting. It's a cool idea on concept. I just kind of wish they went with a different genre. I think, I don't know, as we see Adam Eve fighting Rexplode there. Yeah, it sounds like the voice acting too. It sounds like they got the voice actors from the TV show. At least it sounds like to me. Like it sounds like Steven Yeun. I'm not sure if it really was. But yeah, Invincible Versus, the new fighting game coming out of Skybound. They're making a big push into the games. Yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Obviously, Robert Kirkman has success with doing Walking Dead as a game. And then finally, last thing I want to talk about here was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4 reveals the Ninja Turtles are coming to the game. So that's pretty interesting. Tony Hawk is no stranger to having kind of cool guest skaters for their game. So Michelangelo looks like he's coming into the game. It's that character design from the newest movie, I think. That's all the sort of video game news, comic book video game news that I wanted to mention here. Also stuff like the Scott Pilgrim game. A new one was announced, kind of follow up to the old one, kind of following the story from the Netflix show, I believe, the sequel to the comics or whatever. So that's all we got. Comic book video game news. Pretty exciting time to be a nerd. Let me know what you guys thought about this, and yeah, thanks for watching this part. So we got a big old mail call. As you guys see here, a bunch of different packages sent to me from various different publishers and people doing books and stuff. So first one up, it's a book called Replay. It's a memoir, graphic novel memoir from Jordan Mechner. So I'll show you guys here. I'm a pretty big fan of memoirs, man. So the Prince of Persia creator, Jordan Mechner, calls on the voices of his father and grandfather to weave a powerful story about the enduring challenge of holding a family together in the face of an ever-changing world. So when they reached out and they wanted to send this to me, I said, dude, absolutely, man. I'm a huge fan of graphic novel memoirs from the guy who did the Prince of Persia series. And when I was flipping through, man, I just really fell in love with this style. So huge fan of graphic novel memoirs. The fact that it talks about his grandfather, his dad, and then his own experiences, kind of the generational. Yeah, man, I think it's pretty cool idea. The next one up is from Mad Cave Studios. I do believe they sent me Endless Night issue number 1. This is that like kind of shared universe event that's going on, over in the Endless Night sort of universe. So they sent me issue number 1. It's in the Underworld universe. Sorry. So from writer Mark London. He's kind of the creator of all these different characters. They're all kind of coming together. So we have 2 characters that are sort of like a crime and noir sort of series. One is like a supernatural, like a hunter dude, and then the other is like a spy series. So all these different kind of genres colliding together into one underworld sort of summer event. Have to see how that goes, man. So Mad Cave Studios, shout out. Another package from Mad Cave Studios. This one's like a box, like a bunch of stuff in it. So let's see what we got. Oh, look at that. Okay. So they were telling me they were going to send me a box that had a bunch of... they have a new imprint spinning up that's focused more on maybe young adult manga, but it's like a manga imprint, right? So it looks like we got a little cookie, dude. A little sweet treat cookie. We have some like pop rock kind of candy. That's fun. We'll unwrap this in a second, and it looks like we got a shirt as well. So Nakama Press is that the new imprint out of Mad Cave Studios, and yeah, dude, a really cool kind of shirt. Just 2 people right next to a stand, a manga stand, comic stand, just reading some stuff, man. 2 different cat people. That's cool, dude. That's a really cool shirt. Your gateway to global storytelling. Gateway to global storytelling. So Nakama Press is the new imprint. So that's cool, man. You got some snacks, got a nice shirt, and let's see what this is. It looks really nice. I don't wanna ruin it too much. But then again, it is a present, right, guys? You gotta rip it. Ooh. Okay, so we got Indigo, Chiho Kwang, and Chi Kit Kwang. Indigo, Nakama Press. Beautiful cover on this. I mean, that just looks like a beautiful cover. So Indigo, Ella is a reporter for an occult magazine living what appears to be a normal life. She's not the best at getting along with people, but she has a special ability which enables her to communicate with plants and animals. One day Ella learns of the strange death of her college professor and beloved mentor. An instinct draws Ella to investigate the real cause of his death, which gradually unfolds a series of incidents which surpass Ella's wildest imagination. As she investigates further, Ella encounters people who slowly guide her closer to the truth, which causes alternate forces to try to stop her. Pursuit of fulfilling her destiny to decide the fate of humanity, Earth, and the universe. Wow, man. insane stuff. I mean, just from the setup, really, really interesting stuff. Let's take a look at the art. Oh, dude, beautiful, beautiful stuff. So, what am I looking at, dude? This is insane. Okay. Prologue, table of contents. Wow. Wow, dude. Okay, so some colored parts, and then some traditional manga black and white parts, man. So this looks pretty sick. Really, really excellent detailed artwork. Really great, kind of swirly. Wow, man, this looks cool. So Nakama Press, Indigo. I don't read a ton of manga, but the fact that, I don't know, it seems really approachable, right? Coming from a publisher that I already know and love, in Mad Cave Studios, Nakama Press, Indigo, man. This looks pretty sick. Volume number 1. Thank you guys for the cookies and the little snack too, and the t-shirt. Nakama Press, an imprint of Mad Cave. Welcome to Nakama Press, your gateway to global storytelling. Also got a bookmark, dude. Hell yeah, dude. This is not a cheap bookmark too. This is a nice one. And then we get, our journey is just beginning. So we get Infinite T-Force, The Theory of KO, Architect's Epiphany, and God Tier. More series coming out from Nakama Press. Nice little print too. I'll be putting this on the filing cabinet, you guys know for sure. So that's cool stuff, man. Nakama Press. Gary V sent me something, dude. Gary V. You guys know Gary V. He's a rich guy. He's a super rich guy. Oh, I can't open this yet. I cannot open this yet because I'm doing a video on polybagged comics, and this is going to be one of them. But this is Gary V's V Friends. He's doing like a new thing that's kind of like Pokemon or something. I don't know what's going on with Gary V, but he has like a comic book universe that's kind of like Pokemon. So, rarity guide. You get the original sketch cover. Okay, gold foil, red foil, hollow foil. So yeah, interesting V Friends. We'll be opening this later, but that was the weirdest DM I've ever gotten in my life when Gary V reached out to me. But yeah, next up, let's look at Distillery. Sent me something. Distillery, I don't know what's going on with Distillery anymore. They don't have any comic books coming out, but One Fusion, number 3. Lee Luridge. We got Scott Hoffman, Alberto Ponticelli. This is like a future kind of sci-fi series, like a cyberpunk sort of world that they live in, where you can get like body mods and evolve different parts of your body, I think. I haven't read Warm Fusion yet, but I plan to soon. Now that issue number 3 is out, I think this concludes it, if I'm not mistaken. This one sent to me from, I think his name is Ben Morrow. Ben Morrow wanted to send me his new graphic novel called Huxley. So you guys look at this real quick. So I'll flip through and I'll tell you about Huxley. So Huxley is a gripping post-apocalyptic science fiction graphic novel from acclaimed universe builder Ben Morrow. Perfect for fans of Dune and Star Wars. I'm flipping through this. It looks insane, dude. Huxley looks insane. Crazy detail. Insane art style. And yeah, so about the creator. Ben Morrow is an accomplished author, illustrator, and creative visionary, known for his exceptional contributions to the entertainment industry. He has worked with studios such as Weta Workshop, Microsoft, and Activision, contributing to blockbuster titles including The Hobbit Trilogy, Elysium, Chappie, Valerian, Moral Engines, Lucy, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Halo Infinite, Call of Duty, Advanced Warfare, and Black Ops 3 and 4, among many others. Over the course of a millennium, a once thriving planet was laid to waste through nuclear wars that scorched and poisoned everything. To escape the hardship, many fled to the stars, destroying the space elevators and stargates behind them, leaving the war-hungry inhabitants stranded in the ruin that they made for themselves. So that is a very interesting sort of setup. Excellent sci-fi, dude. I'll be sure to check this out sometime soon. Shout out to the writer, shout out to the illustrator Ben Morrow for sending this my way, dude. Huxley. That was the last topic for today's video, man. So Definitely check out all the other topics. We did weekly comic book reviews. We talked about my DC comic, my Marvel and my indie pull list. We talked about some comic book video games. And then, of course, we did this comic book mail call, dude. So that's what we got. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out any of the other topics. Thank you guys for watching and read more comics.